Once upon a time, I was talkative and popular back in the second grade. Aside from this one other kid, I was the next most well-liked in the class. I played a bunch of sports, football, soccer, baseball, so I knew everyone. It was the third grade when I suddenly shut down, became a mute. I would just sit and play with my fingers pretending they were WWE wrestlers all day at school. I'm 25 going on 26 now. You may be wondering why I am here dwelling on elementary school. It's a fair question. The reason is that as far as I can tell, this moment of my childhood was the turning point that explains the trajectory of my life since. Buckle in because this post will be very long. Of course, my teacher, noticing that I had become detached, proceeded to intervene. They had me tested assuming I must have some kind of disability. All they came away with was that I had an antisocial personality, not the disorder, but they put me in special ed anyway. I started to be pulled out of class with the other special needs kids. Regardless of if this was the right call or not, which I think could be debated, I don't blame these adults for anything. I gave them reason to be concerned, after all. Don't know if I was just having some kind of tantrum or what. Or maybe I have Asperger's and they missed it. I've had a doctor suggest that, and it certainly lines up with some of my behavior. Being in this new category affected how I was viewed by my classmates as well as my own self-esteem. I still managed to maintain friendships, some of which were made before I detached and others even after. People still talk to me. My classroom behavior remained the same year after year. I didn't speak beyond saying the bare minimum. My grades were average. At the beginning of middle school, I actually began to excel for a brief period of time. I managed to use this to get myself out of special ed. It didn't really matter because the damage was done concerning the way I was perceived. Of course, I suppose I could have shocked everyone and started talking all the time one day, but as a kid, I just kept following the same old patterns that were comfortable to me. Essentially, everyone aside from those in my friend group went on believing I had a disability and treating me accordingly. It began to not really bother me over time, and middle school was probably the best years of my life. I reflect fondly on school dances, trips to amusement parks, sleepovers, etc. with my pals. Dating was out of the question, but I looked at it as an exciting thing for the future. Most kids weren't doing it yet anyway. Everything changed on the last day of 8th grade. You see, I had been engaging in another more subtle self-sabotage mission for a couple of years. At the lunch table, I had been telling inappropriate jokes on a routine basis. Most of my friend group seemed to find it funny, but one kid took issue with the things I was saying. His parents were police officers and he was a little more of a tightly wound type. He reported me to the guidance counselor's office. I received a stern talking to by a mustached man. I ran to the lunch table the next day talking about it and wondering who reported me. Of course, this led to the gossip spreading around my school. On top of being mysterious and a little scary, I had now also gained a reputation as disgusting. My friends stopped hanging out with me at this point, presumably not wanting to be associated with me. They did prank call me from a sleepover together to make fun of me no longer having any friends. High school started off pretty miserable. I now sat alone at lunch every day and got bullied by seniors as the low man on totem pole. In a way, high school, aside from grade 9, still seems ideal to me now. I managed to pick up a one-off friend here and there. We would go to a fair or to the casino. Eventually, I was invited back into my middle school friend group, and I joined a film club with them in which we would produce little sketches. Then I graduated in 2018. This is when things became 100% cooked for me. I went to a small college an hour from home. My ability to connect with people was non-existent. I was already in the habit of barely talking, and this didn't change. Again, my continued self-sabotage. Started having panic attacks in 2021 and dropped out of physical school. I started living at home, finishing my degree very slowly, only completing it last May after 7 whole years. All this time having very little interaction with the outside world. I started a YouTube channel in 2023 and had a scant few people enjoy my videos at least. I have a shred of charm in front of a camera, but not enough to earn any kind of a real following. I majored in political science, though I am not going into the field. Instead, I will be working at a coffee shop my parents who work in the restaurant industry are starting. It will just be me and an older woman who doesn't speak English very well. I will be dealing with customers all day, and I'm just hoping I will be able to rely on my NPC script to get me through the it. I know I'm still just a kid, but I can't help but think the rest of my life sounds grime. It goes without saying, but I've never been in a relationship. I haven't had any friends for 7 years now, and will be dealing with whatever hell people want to give me in a customer service position. I bust tables in high school, so I know how that goes a bit. I have an overbearing father and am really sick of living at home as well. All in all, it's probably exactly what I deserve, but the victim side of me wants to say I didn't do enough to earn this form of eternal damnation. Maybe I should take accountability for myself and join some kind of adult club. It sounds like painful exposure therapy for my social anxiety. Plus, I feel like a 12-year-old in any adult space. So I'm probably not going to force myself to do such a thing anytime soon. I guess this is just a long tale of squandered potential. If you've read this far, I appreciate it. Definitely leave me a comment, because you're probably the only one. Tell me what you think I should do, where you think I went wrong,